Hello, hello, hello. Autoimmune Prepper here. Happy Tuesday. I hope everyone is doing well. If you are in some of those rough areas where things have gone awry, I hope that you are getting the help and the support that you need if you are able to see this video right now. If you are a new subscriber, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all of the new subscribers that have joined me, and I greatly appreciate all the subscribers that have already been here. I welcome everybody to leave your comments down in the comments section. I encourage and ask everybody to give my videos a thumbs up so that it can keep floating up to the top so that it comes across other viewers that are interested in my type of content, which is prepping, among other things that I talk about. A little bit political, but not much. And share my videos. All of those things are a great help. If you look at the video, just take a moment to say something in the comments section. You can say hello. I really would like to know how you found my channel. So if you watch a video, just let me know, hey, such and such sent me over, or I stumbled across your video in the feed. I'm just interested to know how you came across my video. Again, I have a series of videos. When you have an opportunity, go back through and take a look at some of my videos. You're welcome to leave comments there, even if it's an old video. I periodically go through and see if there are any new comments. I'd love to answer any questions, and we always love to see good comments, good suggestions that may help other people who read comment sections. Anyway, once again, don't forget, give the video a thumbs up. It just takes a quick second. So a few things that help content creators' channels to grow and to vibe better with the YouTube algorithm. So one is thumbs up or thumbs down. I prefer thumbs up, but I'm not mad at you if you want to give me a thumbs down. The other one is leaving comments in the comments section. It doesn't have to be long. I get it. A lot of times I look at videos and, they're interesting, but you don't always want to leave a comment, or you don't always feel like leaving a comment. But now that I have become aware of what the comments help content creators do, I now start to take the time to leave a little comment and, just say wow, or great info, or keep up the good work, something just to let YouTube know that there's an interest in what this individual is talking about. Now, on to my video today. So I wanted to not backtrack, but reiterate or go over again how I came to start prepping. I want to talk a little bit about mindset and some things along that nature. And I also wanted to talk about, I get it. I understand why a lot of people are not preppers. They don't know what prepping is. They don't know what a prepper is. I've mentioned this sometimes to people and they look like a deer in headlights, like, a prepper? Prepping? Like, prep what? What are you talking about? So I have to kind of give a brief explanation of what I mean when I mention prepping. When I ask him, are you prepping? I have to give a brief explanation as to what it is I'm talking about. Anyway, so for me, again, and I kind of went over my story before in another video, But for new people who have subscribed, oh, also make sure that you hit the notification bell too. So when I put out new videos, you are notified of my videos, of when I put out a new video. So again, you see the name Autoimmune Prepper. I feel like I chose a good name because in 2016, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune illness called neuromyelitis optica, NMO for short, NMOSD for short. It is, I call it the big ugly cousin to MS or multiple sclerosis. During that time, so that is where I got the name from. I said, well, autoimmune illness. I'm starting to prep. So how about autoimmune prepper? So it's funny because I know sometimes when people see autoimmune, sometimes they can't even pronounce it, let alone know what it's all about. So autoimmune is related to illnesses, and I won't get all the way into that, but that is where I got the name from. And so when we talk about mindset, so let's journey back a little bit. Before I was diagnosed with neuromyelitis optica, my daily routine, mindsets and daily routines. So what I'm going to ask you is, what is your daily routine once I tell you this little story? Oh, I just asked you. Anyway, my daily routine was wake up in the morning, turn on the news, Fox 11 News, faithfully. Every morning, that was my channel. Get up, get the kids ready for school, watching Fox 11 News, and then head off to work. In the afternoon, home from work, see what's going on the news again, get all the information about all the traffic accidents, shootings, killings, robbings, all that good, nasty stuff that they talk about on the news. And so that's what I was filling my mind with every day. In addition to Lifetime, that was my other show. Faithfully, I watched Lifetime, and then I had my reality TV shows. So that is what I watched. Had my wine daily, and that was it. That was the life. Then 2016 rolls around, and NMO decides to knock on my door and pay me a visit. It was a nasty visit. It brought along an ugly friend called transverse myelitis, which caused the paralysis, caused me to be paralyzed from the waist down. Now, as you can imagine, that was topsy-turvy, just completely turned my world upside down. Because here I go from being totally independent to totally dependent, almost like that. So anybody that has an autoimmune illness later on in life, something, if you weren't born with it and it just popped into your life later on, you know exactly what I mean. This came with a lot of nerve pain. I mean, excruciating pain. It was pain like, men, you don't know this pain, but for the ladies that have babies that have given birth, you go through the labor pains, and you know how bad it is when you're going through the labor pain, but after you deliver the baby, all of that just like disappears, and you know the pain that you felt, but it's hard to describe because you don't feel it anymore. But you knew it was excruciating. So anyway, went through that whole ordeal. So, with being diagnosed with NMO, let me tell you something. In that pain, you have to have a high tolerance for pain. Seriously. Any of you out there that have, those autoimmune illnesses that have that excruciating pain, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The kind of pain that sometimes the Norco, those strong pain medications, I can't remember the other ones offhand, but I went through, I dealt with all of them, and sometimes they just did not work, and you just had to ride it out. So anyway, that's where mindset came in. You have to have a strong mind and a strong will to get through what I went through, because it was terrible. And so the old routine that I had with watching Fox News, all the garbage that was on the news stations, all the sleazy Lifetime movies that I watched, all of that completely changed. Now, I'm going somewhere with this story. It will tie into prepping, right? Now, I never watched YouTube before this ordeal. You notice you didn't hear me mention YouTube in that genre of TV watching. YouTube was never on my radar. Never. So after being diagnosed with autoimmune illness, I wanted to change my mindset because I had a mission and I had a goal and I had to keep my mind strong. And looking at Fox 11 News and those other things, that wasn't going to cut it. I can't remember how I started watching YouTube, but I did because I wanted to start looking at pastors and preachers. I wanted to just get my mind filled with things along those lines. Um, Healings and prayers. My mom would bring over CDs for me to play through the night because, when you sleep, your subconscious is still awoke, it's still awake. And so I have all of this going in, and I had all this surrounding me. So, again, I was watching different pastors, preachers, and just looking at everything positive that I could find, funny things that I could find. And even back then, I was not a prepper. It wasn't until maybe a couple of years later that I even stumbled across prepping. But those other videos did help me along my journey. And so as time went on, began to get better. And let me tell you something. When you go through something real traumatic and you have friends that were there in the beginning before this happened to you, you learn fairly quickly who your actual friends really are or were. I learned that as well. But anyway, that was then. This is now. What I like to say is those that did not stick around missed seeing a blessing firsthand. Those that did stick around, I was so grateful for the help and the support that I got. And they're still around. And I'm grateful to them. And so, fast forward, I have to say, a lot of times they say bad things happen to good people. I like to think I was a good person. I know that I did a lot for others. So then when I was diagnosed with autoimmune illness, I had to ask, why me? Why did this decide to come and pay me a visit? Who who knows? Only God knows why. But it happened. And when you look back, or when I look back, I have to say, okay, it was given to me for me to do whatever it is I need to do with, for me to inspire or motivate whoever it is that's out there that needs to be inspired or motivated. Whoever's out there that needs to know that there is light at the end of the tunnel, because let me tell you, when you are in it, you do not see any light at the end of that tunnel. Because I was looking at the beginning and I was worried. I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, I was literally like an adult baby. And I was looking for the light at the end of the tunnel. So, just to let you know, if this is you and you need to know this, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Or if you know someone in a particular situation, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Again, good things happen to, bad things happen to good people. And we don't know why. We don't see the benefit of it at first, but as time goes on and things get better, we start to realize, okay, well, maybe that's why this came my way. That's just the way things are. And so, anyway, fast forward some more. I became a big YouTube advocate, and eventually I stumbled across prepping channels. I think The Angry Prepper was probably one of the first channels that I really paid attention to. Just the cursing just really drew me in. Although I was, on a positive note. No, I'm just joking. But he's hilarious. But anyway, I think he was one of the first channels that I started watching. And then, as you get into a certain area of videos that you watch, I guess YouTube starts suggesting other preppers, in that arena. So then I started coming across other channels and just really started watching, paying attention. And then as I started doing that, I started saying, okay. And that's when I started getting items, little by little. I still was not an avid prepper. That didn't come along big time until March of 2020, when what hit the scene. Thank goodness I had enough TP in the closet, nowhere near as much as other people have had, but I had enough to where I didn't have to get in those long lines that we saw on TV wrapped around the building to get into the store. I had enough of what I had at home, but again, nowhere near as much as I guess I would say I have now. And that hit the scene. I said, "Ooh, I'm never gonna get caught having to stand in those lines." For one, I don't have the patience to do all of that. For two, I could send somebody to the store, but why do that when I can already have what I need at home for times like that? So that's why I became a prepper. But I get it, why, I understand why people don't prep and they're not familiar with it, because I guess what I'm saying is, had what happened to me in 2016, had it not happened, I probably would not be a prepper. I probably would be amongst the, no offense people, but the sleep sheep. I probably would be amongst them. Still watching Fox 11 News, watching CNN, watching all the nonsense on television, not paying attention or not noticing what's going on. I probably would notice little bits and pieces like high gas. I probably would notice, food prices, increase, but nowhere near the depths of what I know now. So I guess in hindsight, looking back, I have to say, well, maybe I was subdued or sat down for a reason, because sometimes we have to be the drivers. Because I'm sure, like me, you have friends, family members that you have probably been yelling from the mountaintops about prepping, getting extra food, getting extra water, learning how to can, learning how to garden, getting extra medical supplies, all the supplies, everything that goes along with prepping. I'm sure you probably have talked to people like I have, and they're not listening. It just goes one ear and out the other. Or they just say, "Oh, for real? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna get this extra this. I'm gonna get this extra that." But good and well, they haven't wouldn't got any extra anything. They have every excuse under the sun as to why they haven't started or when they're gonna start. There's no time like the present. Actually, we're kind of behind if you haven't gotten started yet, because as you can see, there are a lot of videos out there about food shortages. We already see the high gas. Stores are starting to limit what you can purchase once again. So it's just like every other day, if you can get out and purchase other items, you should get out there and start doing it. But anyway, what I was saying was sometimes the burden or the responsibility is placed on us to be the driver, and it's up to us as to who we're going to let in the car as passengers or into the bus as passengers, all depending on how big your friend and family pool is. And we have to be in the driver's seat because they didn't pay attention or they didn't listen. And they will be without if it was not for your help, if it was not for your wittiness to stock and supply and put extra for those who were not paying attention. Because, of course, you don't want to turn them away, but you just never know what's going to be what until things actually really hit the fan. So some people take this as a big joke, or maybe not a joke, but not serious. And maybe because people have been talking about prepping for years. But once again, we're not prepping for just a doomsday type of situation. We're prepping for any type of situation. You're here in California, you should be prepping and have your emergency stuff in case there, God forbid, is like a nasty earthquake. Although there are other natural disasters that are happening in other areas that don't normally happen in those areas. So that's when we have to start thinking outside of the box. If you live near the beach, the coastal areas, even though you're in California, you may want to invest in some kind of inflatable boat, because if those waves were to come inland so far and the water rises to levels where you need some kind of boat, you might want to think outside the box and have something like that. In addition to all the other good stuff, the generators, your food, your water, your emergency equipment, medical supplies, and things like that. But anyway, I won't hold you any longer. I just wanted to share a little bit of my backstory once again and let you know that I get it why some people, are not preppers. It's just because nothing has really grabbed their attention and sat them down and made them look and pay attention. Even though they see natural disasters everywhere, they see what happened back, March of 2020 when, sea hit the scene. It's like in the moment, people were doing things, hoarding and stuff like that. But then as things got better, it kind of just faded away. And nobody's really worried about anything like that until the next big event happens. Who knows what that's going to be? But 9 times out of 10, there will be something. So I guess I just have to be grateful for the position that I'm in. I have to be grateful for where I've been, what I've learned, and where I am now. and how I can help share information and educate others with what I know and with what I learn from others. I watch a lot of other channels. I get a lot of good information. I take screenshots of people's comments in other areas. And at some point, when I have a chance, all depending on how the videos that I put together, I'll share that information. But there's a lot of information out there. There are a lot of good channels. But as always, make sure you do your own research. You hear some good information, you take it. If you hear some things that you don't agree with, you leave it. It's just that simple. We don't need to be divided at this time. We need to stick together now because things are just really rocky, and a lot of people don't notice that. A lot of people think everything is just everything. So it just depends on what side of the fence you're on. If you're in the middle, just do your research and just pay attention and just try to make wise and smart decisions because um, you have to care for yourself. And if you have children, you have to care for them. If you have elderly parents, you have to care for them. So there could be a lot going on, but first and foremost, take care of yourself first, because if you are no good to yourself, you're no good to anyone else. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. In the comments section, please give me your thoughts, your suggestions. It may help somebody else out that may need to hear what it is you have to say. And I like to read the comments. I like hearing from you guys. It really excites me and it really helps. Again, it helps the channel as well. And it lets me know that you are paying attention to what I'm saying. You are hearing me and you have an opinion or you have some advice. So just take a quick moment and share. Greatly appreciated. Anyway, I will not hold you. I hope you enjoyed this video. I gotta go. I'll see you later. Bye.